Let's do it.
Dum dum dum.
All right. So every generation gets the snake oil it deserves. In the 1920s, it was radium put in toothpaste. In the 1990s, it was the dot-com companies with no revenue. And in the 2020s, lo and behold, it's artificial intelligence. We're told we're living through a transformation, but transformation is not what happens in a demo. It's not what venture capitalists promise in pitch decks or what happens when a chatbot passes multiple choice tests. Real transformation leaves scars. The printing press didn't just make books, it shattered the Catholic Church's monopoly on truth and triggered centuries of religious war. Electricity didn't just make light, it restructured where humans could live, work, and build cities. The internet didn't just connect computers, it destroyed entire industries and rebuilt the global economy. What scars has AI left? What industries lie in ruins? What fundamental restructuring of human society has occurred? See, the answer is none, because AI isn't transformational, it's incremental. And there's nothing wrong with incremental. Incremental is useful, incremental is valuable. But incremental, wrapped in the language of revolution, becomes something else entirely. It becomes hype. And here's what makes this hype dangerous. While we chase the phantom of transformation, we're creating very real consequences. We're burning electricity at rates that would power nations, sabotaging our climate goals. We're redirecting billions towards GPU farms that could build hospitals, fund schools, pay teachers who currently buy supplies from their own pockets. The transformation we're getting isn't the one in the pitch deck. It's the transformation of our priorities. Now, my team will show you that the gap between AI's promises and AI's reality isn't a gap of time. It's a gap of category. We're not waiting for transformation. We're mistaking a very good calculator for a god. And that difference matters because when you believe you're holding lightning, you stop preparing for a storm.
Good job.
How much of that was
Okay.
AI?
Are you ready? Yeah, that was definitely an AI written.
100%.
Okay, Najib, go ahead.
Well, this debate is not about whether AI is impressive or useful. It's about whether AI is transformational. A technology is transformational when it changes who can create value, how decisions are made, and how work gets done, not just when it makes things faster or cheaper. By that definition, AI is transformation. For the first time, intelligence and AI can be used at scale, on demand, and by almost everyone. That lowers skill barriers, it changes how teams are built, and it generally reshapes the work and the way work happens. Today, we'll show you AI doesn't just improve existing systems, it changes the system itself.
Good job, Najib. Yay. Okay. Let's start by questions. Who has question for Iftikhar? Okay. We could remove you from spotlight, sorry. Okay, now we can see all your faces. Yalla, guys, we need an engagement session. It's a debate.
I would love to kick things off if we can go back to the analogy that Iftikhar made at the start. Iftikhar, can you roll back to the different events and time that you selected and walk us through these?
Yeah. So if you look throughout history, what's happened is there's been innovations or changes that have happened, and the public has jumped on through various reasons, some of it being scientists, politicians, etc. And these have been touted to be massively revolutionizing for society. The cases I gave was a small one in 1920s, and radium was put in toothpaste, and they were pushing this forward as a massive change. Of course, later found out that this is highly radioactive and cancer causing. Then you had in the 1990s, we had the dot-com, which effectively became a bubble, and you had a lot of companies with no revenue, gaining sky-high valuations, raising tons of money, but actually not delivering much value. And then, of course, now we have artificial intelligence, which, as I was saying, is an incremental technology, not necessarily a transformational technology, which doesn't mean it doesn't have impact, but been overhyped.
I see. So I see you're using examples rather than actually defining the event itself. So we're using other examples here to show how AI is not transformational. But if we look down deep at the definition of what a transformational technology is, AI ticks all the boxes.
So why don't I throw that back at you and tell us what in your definition of transformation is that AI fits into that supposedly ticks all boxes?
It's creating, so this is the broader definition of transformational technology, is a technology that allows you to create value, to change how decisions are made, and to change the outcome of your work.
So let me give you a counter on this. So if you go to the dot-com bubble, pet stores, okay, pet companies online, you can sell pet products. It ticks all those boxes, but that's not transformational. That's maybe impactful in some parts of society, but I would say that a pet company that rises very quickly and then crashes, that's actually a hype. And so we're not discussing really, if there's value in AI. Of course, there's value in AI. I think we can see there's impact. But what we're debating is that there's overhype. It's been overinflated. That's the problem.
Okay. Can we hear from other team members? So Bhuvan and Uthman, you could, I'm going to put you on the spotlight for both of you. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you start, Bhuvan.
Yeah.
Sure. So I think continuing what we were earlier talking about, what Taqadam said, that I think let's talk about hardcore data, right? I think everyone here in this room would have read the MIT's report, which was State of AI 2025, and that clearly established that how 95% of AI pilots had produced no measurable business value. And this is hardcore data. This is after the companies have invested 30 to 40 billions of dollars, right? Only about 5% of they were able to reach production where it would actually meaningfully affect the P&L. So one thing which clearly is demonstrated by this report is also that adoption does not mean transformation, right? So just doubling down on what I was saying, that we're just basically overhyping it, whereas all the data as of now stands in the direction that it has still failed after so much of investment to actually show a measurable ROI.
Uthman?
Yep. So you mentioned Iftikhar, the scars or the impact on. I think it's not 100% true. So I'll give you some examples. For example, in my startup, I used to have 2 full-time people in my marketing department, and we used to hire agencies just to be able to have a strategy and follow on that. Right now, we just have one freelancer using lots of AI tools to design videos, posters, strategies, emails. For the first time in 13 years I have been working in business, I need to hire much lower headcount. And this is the case in Hollywood. If you have friends in Hollywood, they will tell you what's happening to their industry. For the first time, they feel like their jobs are not safe at all. Hundreds, thousands of them will lose their jobs as AI can do in hours what they used to do in months, costing millions of dollars. So I think for some industries, AI is very transforming the whole thing. They really need to adapt, or AI will take over all their jobs. it's not as big as it's promoted. I agree that AI is overvalued. And we know that the way NVIDIA is selling their chips is for partners, and those partners are having shares. In the way the money flies between those players, eventually it will fire back on them. But AI is a tool that is transforming definitely several industries.
Okay, I'm gonna put two randomly in the spotlight. Randomly. And
Nice.
we'll choose. Okay.
So do
Yeah.
we just like monologue or?
Ask questions, defend your team,
Yeah, sure. Okay, good. I'll start. Honestly, I think one thing to note about some of the stuff that we've been talking about here is that, there's the mention about overhyped versus transformation, which is very obvious. In general, the concept of hype, in my opinion, is a little subjective. Something being overhyped versus hyped versus something that's very good is something that people can argue on till time ends, and we probably wouldn't get on a very specific answer to that. However, when it comes to the topic of AI, I believe that we need to be specific about exactly what we're talking about. We're talking about AI as a technology and not necessarily how every single person on this planet decides only to use AI. A very common example that you guys have been mentioning a lot is the dot-com bubble. So dot-com bubble, for those who don't know, in the mid to late 90s, was a huge boom in the stock market around internet companies. So the dot-com bubble in itself is not a reflection of the technology being used, but rather the people using that technology. That's not to say that just because the dot-com bubble burst, which it did in 2001, that internet is not valuable. We all know that internet is transformational. According to Iftikhar himself said that the internet is transformational, but that does not reflect the outcome of the dot-com bubble, which we know a lot of companies tanked. But nobody here would say something like, oh, the internet in itself wasn't transformational for business. AI is the thing. AI is a technology which has the capacity to be extremely, extremely transformational. And to go to Bhuvan's point, which is the whole concept of using data, with the same thing, the state of AI in 2025. In fact, it actually says that 62% of companies are only now starting to use AI in their workflows and in their industry from an industrial point of view. And even with that, around 40% are showing impact on the EBITDA, which means that yes, while AI has not reached its full height of value in companies because it is extremely, extremely new, there is a lot of signs showing that the trajectory is only up from here. In fact, and probably exponential in that case. We've already seen, at least in the US, over 60,000 jobs being cut, purely because of the automation of AI. But in general, we can see that even with that, I believe there was companies who did implement in the industrial level. It's saying here 32% increase in profits or revenue, sorry, just already in the beginning. So the transformation is in its early stages, but by all means going to be transformative moving forward.
Can I add something to that as well?
Yeah. Go ahead.
One more thing as well, the MIT report that Bhuvan, I believe, brought up doesn't actually prove that AI isn't transformational. What it proves is that organizations are failing to actually adapt this technology. And let's be honest, organizations or large organizations have been historically well known for these huge enterprise failures when it comes to new technologies. And this is historically been with every transformative technology that exists, that in the early stages, adoption is a huge problem. Even with electricity, with computers, as someone mentioned, that because what you're dealing with is years and years of legacy software, legacy processes, legacy workflows in place, which needs to change. So the MIT report about the failure in implementation actually proves the organizations are failing to adopt the technology. That doesn't mean AI itself is not a transformational technology.
Actually, it does very explicitly says, if I'll read it as is, most organizations fall on the wrong side of the Gen AI divide. adoption is high, but disruption is low. 7 out of 9 sectors show little structural change. Again, my point being, this out of 8 sectors where basically they studied, 2 showed disruption. Media was a part of it. So I do agree with what was mentioned earlier, but that's it. And hence the point being that how, after investing so much money, there's only 2 sectors showing some disruption, hence the overhype.
No, but again, I think
So
Hazaifa's point. So sorry, but just to counteract that, I think Hazaifa's point is that these people have not yet learned how to use AI in the proper way. I think that's the bigger problem. It's not that we're not disagreeing with what you're saying. We're disagreeing with the idea that you're saying it's not transformational, and it's not transformational because we haven't, as a society, even at an industrial level or a commercial level, reached to a point where we're able to implement AI in a way that does create those structural changes. And I think that's something that's very clear across a lot of these state of the AI of 2025 reports, is that the ones that do, in fact, do see an increase in a lot of different factors. In fact, especially in efficiency metrics, innovation metrics, and those two mainly. So sort of replacing thinking and optimizing operations. But again, a lot of companies, yes, are still struggling to get there, and it's the same with the internet. It took about 15 to 20 years to move from a place where the internet was accessible to actually a day-to-day active process that businesses use to improve their commercials or operations or whatever.
True, 100%. And one more thing to add on to that is that even because of how new AI is, the infrastructure itself is being built, because there are a lot of problems with AI. Let's say hallucinations is one of the problems, memory is another problem. So as the technology is progressing, the models are getting better. The infrastructure is being built in order for AI technologies to work efficiently. So we are in the early stages, and that could be one of the contributors to the failure of adoption. So as we go, it will get better, basically.
Thank you, Hudayfa.
100%
Can we
right.
give time to Abdullah?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly, exactly. Man,
obviously,
he
take
got
like
the
someone
spotlight.
to kind of like be on the spotlight,
Sorry.
but to just kind of like iterate with like what you guys are saying, like I think like the point that I'm going to argue is that AI is overhyped, even though that I do think it's transformational. So I think that AI is a technology that is going to stay here for like a very long time. It's going to change our life. But the type of hype that we're seeing is just really ridiculous. Like the amount of like investment being poured into this, and I think it's a good thing, but the projection that is like being like I guess like being told to the market that your job is gonna get automated really quick. You're out of job, and I think Athman also said like I'm like lowering the head count. Like the movies will like lead. We need a lot less people just kind of produce the same quality. And I don't really think that is true. If you are going to like lower your head count, like for like the people they have within the company, they're probably not going to be like that much of an output like in your company. Like the type of work that AI now is basically replacing, even though it's a great transformational technology, it's not going to be like the really like I would say high quality like employees. Like you're not going to see like a Marvel movie just being made like through like Nano Banana or like any other like kind of software like right now being used. So I think that even though we can be on a trajectory that AI is gonna like transform our lives. Like we're gonna use it in like a lot of different things. Like adoption is very high. We are still very, very, very far from the point where everybody's out of jobs. Nobody can make movies. Nobody can make any more software because you see like a lot of times like now on like Twitter and whatnot, like you see a lot of like vibe coders. They say, look, I just replicated $1 billion company. Well, how much revenue do you have? So it's like anybody can like sort of like hack your software if you're just kind of like I guess just putting like using like any of like the build like tools right now you have, like if you're using Replit or if you're using like Gemini or like ChatGPT or any other agent right now. And like I said, I think it's a very good thing. We can now reach information a lot more quicker. We can write code, I guess, a lot more efficiently. We can do a lot more stuff right now, like because of AI, and that's a really great thing. And that's gonna continue being better. But the the hype over AI right now is really ridiculous. I remember the first day that ChatGPT came out and everybody said like, stop learning how to code.
nobody should kind of like learn how to code. Like you can like this will definitely like kill the whole like software industry, and that's just not been the case. Like if you are replacing developers that can use very basic uh that can just write like very basic code, they're probably like weren't really they were really that great like to just kind of begin with. So I think that over the next decade or so, like AI is definitely going to change our lives. But the type of hype that we have currently over AI is just it's not at the level where these companies try to paint the picture of that like you don't need any more people in terms of like being in your company and whatnot. But it's a tool just like any other tool, if that makes
وجدان
sense.
شلتيني ليش؟ I had one more point.
Okay, يلا put you back.
لا عادي يعني you can keep me off بس انه just before because I see a lot of hands raised and I wanted to say one
Yeah,
last thing and then you can take me off. It's fine.
يلا يلا.
It's a very small point. But one thing before that, I don't understand the whole argument of, oh yeah, AI does things better, makes us more money, it's more operationally cool. Everybody's using it, but it's not transformational. I think that's a little contradictive in my honest opinion. But anyway, putting that aside, I was gonna say something that for me, I think it's I'm sure you guys all know who Sam Altman is. And his prediction is that this year, 2026, in the early stages of AI development, we're gonna see our first $1 billion one-person company. I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like for me, that's insane. There's not one other technology ever in our history which is able to do something like that. So if that's not transformational, I don't know what is, honestly. Anyway, I'm done now.
That's a closing. Okay, who would like to be in the spot?
Frandu was
Yes,
the
I can.
first one to raise.
Frando, you're raising your hand first.
Yes.
Thank
Why
you.
Go
why
ahead, Franzo.
you remove your hands? Okay.
Hmm?
And Amr.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's nice to see everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to do a bit of an update earlier, but I think the most exciting news is that next week I'm going to be in Dubai and I'll see Fahim and Bhuvan. So that's really good news for us.
Are you guys attending any event here?
We're there for the World Health Expo, yeah. So that's why
okay.
that's why we're there. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like there's a gap in the debate topics. And that might be why we're in this kind of conundrum, right?
Okay.
On the one hand, you've got, is AI transformational? And I think the counter to that is not, is AI overhyped, but rather, is AI transformational right now? Because there's many technologies given enough time and effort that can become transformational. So we're arguing two topics that are not connected in the middle. So I think it's going to be quite a difficult debate. Because on the one side, we're just saying, well, we're not saying it's not transformational, which completely kills the other argument, right? Because we're saying you're right, just not right now. Okay, so there's a time delay element to this that I think people just need to appreciate. That's not being filtered through properly. If you just look at the amount of investment and unicorns being printed in the last 2 years, over 100 unicorns have been printed in the AI space. It's unprecedented, right? And I think it's all good and well to look at one point of data and try extrapolate that and say, oh, look, this thing generated a 10-second clip of a woolly mammoth walking. It's going to produce whole movies. The fact of the matter is that if you see real productivity increase from a change in work, real productivity, not kind of showy, media sensation splashes, you're going to see it in the GDP of countries, right? And if you look at the growth in GDP over the last 2 years of the countries that are chasing AI, they're exactly the same, right? So there is no measurable increase in productivity around the world. And this was one of the main topics of concern at the World Economic Forum recently, that was in Davos, where many world leaders are extremely concerned that we have economies being driven by stock valuations and no measurable increase in productivity coming through. So that's a big question that including Christine Lagarde, everybody's asking is like, well, if it is transformational, where is the productivity increase?
So Fernando, I have a question for you. if you think AI is overhyped, why, or let me ask this question in a different way. Do you think a startup could survive without using AI?
100%. There's lots of startups that are surviving without AI. Not every startup is in the AI space. In fact, any startup that's using AI right now is using it as an optimization tool, right? Maybe you just hire one extra person for, 5,000 star, and that's fine. Right. So you can definitely survive without using AI to the nth degree because very few people, I would wager right now, is using it for extreme optimization.
Okay, Amr, go ahead.
I just have 2 points when it comes to being transformation over hype. I think transformation is a relative word. It's not an absolute term. So we should look at the other things that are getting the attention at the moment. And I did a quick research looking at the investment AI got by sector versus other sectors. Globally, it comes as number 7 or 8. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, IT, energy, healthcare, mobility, semiconductors. So yeah, there are other fields that are still getting funding, and this comes at number 7. But relatively, I would say the impact of these investments in this year, they are transformational relative to other fields. So within my own work, I didn't see other technology when it comes to mobility, healthcare. My life didn't change much when it comes to this, but AI made a lot of change when it comes to cost saving every month. I'm skipping a lot of expenses that I would have paid when it comes to simple tasks like legal research and so on. So this is a point we should make it a relative term, transformational, relative to other spendings in other fields and see the transformation that happened. Yes, there are some gains yet to be realized out of these investments, but it is transformational relative to other investments in other sector. Number 2 is I feel like in every moment in the modern history where we have social media and internet, hype is a media product. So even if there's no AI, there has to be something that's number 1 where we should point the fingers at. So, and this is not the fault of the technology or the thing that we are talking about. It is just media. There has to be number 1, and media is exaggerating all the time. So it's not the fault of a technology being or making this value or not. If we're like in 10 years from now, AI might not be the number 1. We might have other technology. Media will keep exaggerating. So it's not just about the thing that we are discussing. It's just the nature of the media.
Okay. Do you have any question to Fernando and Amr before we remove them from the spotlight?
I have a question. Can I go in with it, please?
Okay.
For Amr as well. Amr, you mentioned that with your quick research that you had done, AI was ranked at number 7 in terms of the total investment that was poured into the sector in 2025, I assume. But all of the other sectors that you also mentioned are also in a certain way, investments of them are probably indirectly related to AI development. For example, semiconductor development. Semiconductors are essentially at the core of like large data centers and everything, which is necessary for powering and empowering AI development with software and everything. So at the hardware point of it all, it is still kind of tied down to that. And another, following on to that as well, you concluded your entire argument by saying that it's not actually the fault of these AI developers and these AI applications, which are overhyping them. It's like the marketing gimmick and the media gimmick, which follows the actual application. So I don't think the argument or the premise over here from our team members has also been to kind of fault AI for this. It's just that it's created this marketing gimmick whereby the end result of it is being overhyped, and you can sense the overhyped nature of it in overhyped valuations, the fraudulent marketing gimmicks that come out of it. For example, Samsung releasing its $4,000 AI-enabled washing machine, which is essentially a smarter machine in terms of automation. So a lot of these companies, they're using this marketing gimmick to kind of propel themselves forward in a somewhat shoddy manner. So where you can say that these companies are not at fault, you also have to admit that these companies are using this traction, this marketing gimmick as of such, to favor themselves as well. So it's inherently a bit, I would say, counterintuitive to separate AI founders as well as the marketing and the media mismanagement, because I think it goes hand in hand with each two. And I think Fahim also mentioned that Sam Altman gave the statement that, oh, we're going to be seeing the $1 billion company within this
Can't
year as
trust
well.
that guy, bro.
Exactly. Don't trust that guy, bro. Because why?
Can't
Because
trust that guy.
he's the flag bearer of this industry. Any statement that he gives out is going to give a directly positive impact into his industry, which is ultimately linked to his OpenAI company. So that's how market dynamics work. It's not something that we're fabricating. That's how markets and investments have always been moving. And small statements here and there do manipulate the effect it has on commodities. And that's just historically proven as well. So I think with the fallacy that you have introduced with media overhyping it, it's transformational, but and then I think someone in the team as well did say it was overhyped, so that was like a direct concession on their part from your team. I don't know who said that. I think the debate should have ended right there and then, because that's like, okay, that's it. But with overhype, I think the context that we should have contextualized in the start was, uh, does it add value? Yes. Is the value equitable and completely equated to the hype it has created, which has resulted in not just expanded valuations, like other disadvantages as well, uh, health, geographical, ecological, all of these things. Is there enough good coming out of it to sustain the hype? Personally speaking, no. And I think even the research also is market engineered to support the hype, to be very honest. That was not really a question.
Yes.
But my bad.
No problem. Daniel and Rida.
Yeah, I think washing machines was the last thing I expected AI to have at the end of the day. I don't think there's any real value of having AI in washing machines, but I think the conversation is pretty interesting, AI today, we offer those services as well, within the gambit of Myalis. And I think it's mostly incremental. Um, Incremental, why do I say it? It's not transformational? Because in most cases, if not all, businesses are doing the same things, but they're just doing it faster. I think someone mentioned earlier on, we used to have a team of 5 people do something. Now we just have one freelancer doing it through AI tools. So it's someone who's just doing it faster for them. Humans still remain a bottleneck because he himself has to still approve everything before it goes live, right? In most cases, it's like efficiency gains more than anything else at the end of the day. And this is where it stands today. I think it definitely is going to change maybe in the future. But if you talk to any person, and they'll probably just tell you that from a day-to-day perspective, it's just a better tool. It's not something that's so transformational or has added so much difference to their life at the end of the day. And I think a really good litmus question that I would put at the end, towards everybody else is, what is it that, AI lets you do that wasn't already being done? It's just doing it maybe faster and less, and maybe it's more tedious. But what business would get wiped off the face of this earth if AI was not existing tomorrow? I think that's a question that we can ask everybody.
Good, thank you, Jenny. I think I need to send this message to Frando. I think in the beginning he said the AI transformation is not now. So this is, I think, the 50 is you already half of the way that it's now. I mean, when you said it's not now, maybe later. So that means it's like a 50% that you will consist that it's a transformational. For Daniel, I think it's not about faster. I don't know how faster we can define. We have a case, there is a problem. It was very difficult to solve for the 50 years to solve. Now we have this AlphaFold AI. They solve it within a minute. So how fast you need it to be? If 50 years not solved, AI came and they solve it immediate. So I think if you're talking about how fast, the 50 years, I think it's enough to answer your questions.
I don't know what the
Yes.
problem it's solving that wasn't
The
solved in 50
problem,
years, so I can't say.
yes, the problem is related to the protein folding problem in biology. So it's something human, they couldn't do it since the 50 years. And when these alpha folding, they solve it, which lead to a Nobel Prize. They win the Nobel Prize for it. I think the question is here, is the Nobel Committee falling for the hype?
The
The
Venezuelan
answer you
president got a
need.
Nobel Peace Prize. He's
Yes,
in the US
yes.
jail right now.
So, but when you're talking about
I
they
don't know
solve the
about Nobel
problem
Peace Prize.
faster, when you said the AI solving the problem only faster than the human, I think 50 years is not something that you call it faster. This is the transformational for the life.
I think that the underlying problem here is like how transformational is it for everybody else at the end of the day as well, right? So it may be to a certain specific sector, it may be for something more specific, right? But if you look at its implication at the end of the day for the rest of the world, how much of an impact is that? And if this didn't happen, how is it impacting human life today? I think transformation is like you never had electricity. There was no internet, right? Internet came in. If I'm selling these t-shirts in a shop, I could not sell them in the US sitting in Dubai or UAE or Saudi, whatever, right? But with the onset of internet, I could build an online shop and I could change the way that my business works now because I can sell it to more people. I can sell it to more jurisdictions. More people know about my product, right? At the end of the day, electricity did the same. It impacted many lives rather than, just touching maybe a few 100,000 or whatever that is. So how would that, like my counter question would be, if this thing has not happened in 50 years, how is it changing my life now, or how would it change in the future?
I think we'll leave the team to answer. There's some raised hands there. For
Anyone
me,
would like to answer?
it's yes.
Okay. Removing spotlight.
I googled the Samsung dryer. And again, this is Samsung saying it themselves. This is not me saying it, but improves efficiency 55% more than the minimum efficiency requirements of Class A rating. Reduces wash time by up to 50%. What else is there?
And that's efficiency, right? That's exactly what we're debating. That's
Yeah,
just
and I
efficiency.
think that's exactly the
automation
problem.
Thank you
disguised.
for bringing it up.
No, guys, look,
Hakeem's
you guys can
he
argue
believes
like, oh
everything
yeah,
he reads, eh?
Should
No,
we
listen,
put back the
listen.
spotlight again?
One second. Time out. It's saying, oh yeah, we used to ride horses and now we drive cars. Oh yeah, now just transportation got more efficient, and that's not transformational. Efficiency does create it to a point. There's a point where it becomes transformational. Let's just put it like that. Same thing as you can have a bookstore, but selling books on Amazon is just a more efficient way of doing it. The internet was transformational. So like that, let's not argue on these small factors that mean nothing. And 55% less energy consumption is a ridiculous amount, especially for the highest consuming energy appliance in your household. So by just buying this entity, you're already cutting down your costs on energy. Maybe not the dryer itself might be a bit too expensive. But yeah, again, I'm just reading what Samsung said, and me saying that it's read everything I believe. This is from Samsung. If you can prove them wrong, more than happy to sue them with you, because that would be an awesome lawsuit, and I'm so down. And I'll switch sides even. So okay.
No, but the premise also that AI is selling is replication of human talent and also reaching forms of intelligence that previous human talent was unable to reach to. So disguising automation and efficiency as replacing human talent and efficiency is a gimmick in and of itself, because that's the premise that I also laid down with my argument. It wasn't to really debate the transformational nature of the whole thing. It was to debate how, yes, somewhat we can make a concession with regards to the benefits it's given. It's the same example you gave us, like we were riding horses 200 years ago, now we're going around in cars and everything. Transformation is appreciated where it's done, but just like getting on off of the base of this transformation and taking yourself to an AI-enabled washing machine, and also I read something about AI-enabled water. There was this company in the US which was selling distillation systems based off of AI. All of these things, you have headphones selling in Pakistan, for example. I was in Pakistan for a month, and you had some local headphone company selling you AI-enabled headphones. And they were selling it at an egregious price point, which was much more than what their normal headphones were selling like. So the overhyped thing is real. It's not to debate the integrity of the transformational capabilities of it. The debate is to understand and come to a conclusion with regards to which extent can you call this as a justified hype? So a $4,000 washing machine, which is being backed by AI, I can't guarantee you, but I can make a very strong case to tell you that the $4,000 price point was bumped up a few notches just because they decided to put AI in front of it. Same was the case for the water bottle. I think it was selling for like 35, not $35, something in the $20 range for 750 ml of water, which is ridiculous, which is essentially the premise of our argument as well. The premise isn't to debate whether or not AI has been inefficient or not, or you can always wash less clothes as well. The premise isn't that. The premise at the end of the day is to conclude that the all the gimmick associated with it, all the traction that you're basing off of just putting AI in front of it, that is unjustified and undeserved for the product. So yes, Fahim, that sounds like a ridiculously good deal for that washing machine, but $4,000, man, just because it has AI written on it, I don't buy it.
Okay. Should
But
we
wait,
put
sorry. The argument is it's transformational and it's hype.
yeah.
That's what I'm understanding. That's what you're saying, right? Because that's what I heard, and I think we said it very clearly.
No. If we're nitpicking words right now, Usman literally said yes. I think it's overhyped. By the way, so you lost in the beginning.
And I believe I think if the also said or somebody else
Fahim,
said on your team that it is transformational as well.
That's Fahim, when you say efficiency.
Abdullah said into transformational.
Oh, I saw something. See this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I may.
Muhammad, Rafiq.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thank you for this debate. It was very, very interesting. But I would actually go with Hassan, who is from my team, in order to say, yes, it is a hype. It may have been transformational if the marketing of this technology has been done differently, meaning that OpenAI was a non-profit organization in the beginning working on transformational technology, but then they wanted to have a profit and they put it B2C because normally this kind of technology would have more operated in a B2B market at the beginning, but it has operated in a B2C market so that everyone has made a use of it that is actually like a hype. So now you are using GPUs of OpenAI in order to ask stupid questions because people are using it more than they need it, and which has made it a hype for me. But when you see its impact on very specific industries, very difficult problems that AI would in biology, in other fields where humanity struggles to solve issues, and this way AI would maybe have been transformative or transformational. But for me, right now, the way we use it, it is more than a hype because that we are using it as something that just relating things from the web and so on, because AI is NLP, it is natural language processing. So it is the first time that we have made a machine that understands the words that we are saying, and since then it has been reasoning and providing some good works and automations like we use it. But for me, the price the pricing model of OpenAI regarding this. They selling it for cheap, and the way it is marketed and has made it a hype. Maybe if it has appeared in 1970 or 1960, it would have been more transformational.
Mohammed, I'm lost. يعني pick a side. You're debating on
No,
both
I'm
sides.
debating that he's a hype.
I think
Okay,
he answered this
Huzaifa, go
For a
ahead.
question.
second, they thought
The
he's a
way
Sorry,
double
the,
agent.
the
Muhammad.
way we have
Sorry,
Yeah,
Muhammad.
He's
Muhammad.
in the middle. He went to our side, but then he
yeah,
got back.
Yeah, I
no,
thought
no,
he's a
no.
double
because
I
agent.
don't know
that's
if you
No,
have
no.
understood
It's subjective. I know that.
Yes.
That's why we're
no, no.
choosing that
What I'm
topic.
saying is that it would have been a transformational technology if it wouldn't have been used the way we use it right now.
Okay.
If they have used it at first in biology research and have shown good results, for example, in order to cure diseases or something like this, we would have been more perceiving it as a transformational technology. But now
okay.
it is just
Muhammad.
a chatbot that tells you what is in the web, things that you can actually do.
Yeah,
Muhammad,
one
we
thing here, by the
already,
way,
Muhammad
just
Rafi, we are
yeah.
already at this stage. We are already solving the biology problems. We are already
Yeah,
behind
but
this
one
stage.
more thing here, by the way, just the usage of a
I don't
technology
think so,
doesn't.
Rida. If we see what happened in COVID and all the medication and the pharmaceutical industries, how it is working, I don't think so. We are still having people dying. We are still having people. One
It's not
single
gonna stop
virus
any.
has stopped the world. So
Muhammad,
Yeah,
it's
but
not gonna
one.
AI. It's not gonna stop anyone from dying. So if it's your time, it's your time.
it should, if it was used the good way, I think that it would have helped more in order to prevent anyone from dying. And
Let's give time to
this way, it
Hudayfa.
would have been impacting and transformational.
But
Okay.
Yeah.
AI is being used at the moment to reduce the number of experiments that we need to do to reach the right drug,
Yes,
and there
yes,
are a whole
yes, yes.
industry saving billions of dollars to save the drug developers instead of doing 1,000 experiments to reach the right set of drugs to test on. And I have friends working on this. And actually, in my company, AI solved a very big problem when it comes to overcoming the area of recycling the plastic waste. So using machine learning, we reduced the cost to make a square meter from almost $60-$70 per square meters to less than $4. And AI made this jump. It would have been impossible to do this without. So it's actually being used, but we are not talking about this. But if you do deep research, many things are being solved at the moment, but they are not on the top of the media, but they are there.
Okay. Hudayfa,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, there's also a very fundamental problem with I think Muhammad's argument, because my usage of a technology doesn't dictate its level of transformation. For example, if I want to use my car to travel a distance which I could just walk for 2 minutes, that doesn't mean cars aren't transformational. It's just that I'm lazy or something. So just because I'm using a chatbot for stupid things doesn't mean the chatbot itself is not transformational or the AI is not transformational. So the usage doesn't dictate,
I
or
think
at least
that
my usage doesn't dictate the level of transformation of the technology. And one more thing to add on to that. Now I think what's happened is across the debate is that I think the other team has sort of shifted the topic and like sort of joined teams that it is transformational, but it is also hyped. So and the whole point of of the debate is that one side is saying that it's not transformational, it's overhyped, as what the topic was. The other side is saying
we
it
are
is
good in
transformational.
debates,
So, but what has happened is that
so
what has happened
this
is
is the
like we've
technique of
joined
debate.
teams.
So
So exactly. So what has happened is like, oh no, it is transformational. Maybe not right now. It's hyped. Look at this headline. Look at this.
no,
So like,
if I
I
may
think we need to separate the two sides.
answer
Like,
your first point,
yeah,
just to answer your first point,
yeah,
you are speaking about your use of AI, but what I was relating is the general use of AI. Now, if you see how much calls are done per day for an AI model for stupid questions
Agreed.
in comparison to a
Agreed.
very specific API call for resolving real issues, I think that we have 1% of these calls done
Agreed. I have a
on this
counter
side.
argument. I
So
have
you
counter, which
cannot
is
say
worse. Yeah.
it is transformational, since the
Okay.
use is done on this part, and we
Okay, I have
see
another question.
real results.
I have another question. Hundreds of people die every day because of car accidents. Then let's just ban all the cars. Then cars are bad and cars shouldn't exist. Forget chat,
No,
forget
no.
stupid API calls. Hundreds of people die because of the existence of a technology like a car compared to horses. So like because this is happening, so that means cars are bad. Cars should be banned and they shouldn't exist. Let's go back to horses because the death rate was much lower
You are speaking
compared
about
to what we have now.
cars, so it is combustion engine. The combustion engine
Yeah.
is a transformational or Schumpeterian, because I believe in Schumpeterian.
Yeah, but based on your logic, it's not.
Guys,
That's
time
what,
out. The purpose of Spotlight, because we don't want the over talking. So could we give time for Hudayfa and Peter to ask questions? Or
I have one statement before I give it to Peter. Okay, so just to clarify the two sides as well. One side is saying that it is transformational. The other side saying it's not transformational. It's just pure hype, at least right now. Now, what I'm saying is that every transformational technology is quite literally miniaturization. What does miniaturization mean? Before, when you had computers, they were the size of a room. Now you have 100 times more computing power in a watch that's sitting on your wrist. It's miniaturization. Something that used to take something hundreds of people or hundreds of hours to actually accomplish can now be done in much less hours. It's basically miniaturization in every industry, by the way. It's time and it's money and it's effort. So similarly with cars or any other technology, like even washing machines, you used to wash clothes with your hands. So in order to wash a pile of clothes, you need like, I don't know, 2-3 hours to do that or 4 hours to do that. But with a washing machine, you press a button and you come back and it's done. So miniaturization is what is transformational about a technology. And with AI, that's exactly the case. A research that would take me hours of like going to links and compiling and fixing my grammar and a cohesive report now takes maybe 10 minutes or 5 minutes. And that for me is transformational. So to hand it over to Peter, miniaturization has definitely happened. It has happened at a very significant scale. Even if we ignore all the other use cases of AI and just look at the miniaturization aspect, it's just something that has already happened. So yes, it is transformational. It is the future. And it is actually severely underhyped right now because people are not familiar with the applications of AI right now, and they're just focused on the industries and their work that they're doing. But if someone who actually understands the application, the computer use, MCPs, and the actual technologies, I would say it's severely underhyped right now. So yeah, that's my argument.
Okay, Peter, go ahead.
I think AI is overhyped purely because of the narrative that has been taken out of context today. I think you've seen leaders like Sam Altman, a couple of other leaders talking about AGI around the corner. But that jumps far ahead of what evidence has been showing. Whether it's high adoption, low adoption, you don't see structural change, right? And the scary story is that, they will tell you like your job will vanish because of AGI. That ignores flaws that you see, whether it's hallucination, memory limits, weak infrastructure, and the need for, in some cases, very heavy human oversight on that. I don't think this is how an imminent super intelligence behave on that front. Even in creative works today, you do see that it's replacing pretty much images. I don't think they are gonna. I don't think today you can produce a full Marvel level movie end to end. You just purely looking at. And if we really see AGI is truly close, it's extremely clear. You will see a broad jump in productivity. You will see GDP jump. You see business model truly change across industry. Now, none of that has been proven in any of these cases across the world.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. Abdullah, I'll put you on the spotlight.
So one thing, it is overhyped. It is not transformational because of only, let's say, it's been adapted or adopted to, let's say, 10 categories and 1,000 categories that people around the world are working on. Yes, it's accelerating things. Yes. For some cases, it's useful to accelerate it. Some cases, you don't need to accelerate it. Oh, yeah, it's easier, but simply you can replace it. It's not irreplaceable. if it's irreplaceable, it's transformational. It's replaceable. You can replace it with people. The other thing, maybe I did it my own. The start of the AI, I was like, oh, how can I make 10K in 1 month? Then, oh, I need to buy an airplane. Same answers. Oh, it's a great idea. I can help you with that. Yes, it's a great idea. I can help you with that. It's somehow stupid. It's making people, even if you can see it in LinkedIn, you can see it on X, you can see it everywhere. It's copying and pasting. No one is doing original things yet now. It's boring. It's making people boring. It's making people less like to think. They're not making them think. They're using ChatGPT think for them. Actually, and last month, I've been tracking some news that in a very major university, as a doctorate, let's say, students, they're doing a research paper, a very interesting research papers, and 3 of the students has been fired from the university because they used AI to write the research paper. It's not the issue. The issue is the references of the research paper were wrong, and the whole research paper were cancelled. And this is how the impact you're saying, oh, it impacts people in the very positive way, but you're not seeing it in the other way, which is it's impacting people in a very negative way. For people stopped being creative. How many of you startups have went to ChatGPT, Cloud, whatever, and tell me creative ideas for a marketing campaign, and you implemented 100% what it says, and you thought it's creative? You cannot replace creative minds. Real creative minds can help with initiating the idea, but it cannot help doing the whole thing and replacing the people that's working with it. And that's and for the washer machine, sorry Fahim, but it's a very lost argument for me because $4,000 washing machine, you can build the whole kitchen with it. And instead of this, you're buying a washer machine that can less money consuming. It's not the case for me. It's not transformational. I was writing it. More pricey, less people to use it, less transformational. That's it.
Everyone's hating on the washing machine. I swear I didn't create it. And it's a dryer, it's not a washing machine. Okay? I didn't create it. I was reading the stats. And I guess, I don't know, Sheikh like Abdullah doesn't care about the environment. 55% energy is not. And even if Tikhar was saying, oh, in general, we're losing our climate argument with this because it requires more energy, but it's saving more energy on the other side as well. So there's both sides to the coin. There's a give and take to something. Anyway, you know what I mean? But there's a sorry, تفضل.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, always both sides.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's been said, and I definitely don't remember all of it, so I'm gonna touch on what I do remember in general. But I think Rafiq was making an argument about if it was an NGO, like OpenAI was an NGO, then potentially it's transformational. I mean, that's not the way the world works, unfortunately. I wish it was, but that's not the way the world works. I mean, a lot of the inventions were made for the promise of glory. I'm pretty sure at least 100% of the people in this room here, while they do want to give good change to the world and make things better, are also looking for some sort of financial gain in one way or another. And I think, again, that's not a reflection on AI as a tool, but maybe the way that people use it per se. And while I know Huzaifa was mentioning that it's maybe underhyped, I don't know. In my opinion, it's subjective. There is some people who are adding maybe a little bit of gasoline to the fire, but that does not in any way mean it's overhyped, especially because, the amount of impact we're seeing, like we're talking about what has AI been able to optimize from an industrial point of view. Some of the biggest companies in the world are writing 70% of their code. These are software companies, as in all they really do is write code, minus the marketing and stuff. But 70% of their code is being written by AI. And to your point, Abdullah, where in terms of positive change, when we're talking about transformational, doesn't necessarily always need to be positive. The atomic bomb was transformational in terms of warfare. That does not make that a good thing. You know what I mean? So it's the same with concept. Yes, jobs have been lost. 55,000 jobs directly in the US, directly as a result of AI, directly. That's not even indirect losses of job, and that's just in the US as well. And that's only to increase. I mean, there's some businesses here that part of their job is to remove human engagement in terms of industry. So yeah, that's the points that I was trying to make.
If I can reply to one thing, the thing of being an NGO, yeah, I agree with you. It's never gonna work. The world is run by capitalism, and we're all capitalists here. We care about the environment, yeah, of course, but the environment have been screwed up 100 years ago, and it's going to be screwed up for the next 100 years. So being transformational, do less energy consumption for 50%, all of that could be done without AI. It's okay, you can do it. Yes, 70% of the companies are rewriting their codes with the AI, but the 30% are still working without AI, revising what's have been done by AI. And that's by that, again, it's making my point that it's replaceable. You can't replace it with people. You can bring people back and it works.
You can, but I can also walk to Saudi.
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not the same actually, because you're already in Saudi and you're working in a company in Saudi, and either you have 10 employees or 3 employees. You can always hire 7, or you can keep a 3. It's your decision as a company, and it's okay. It's replaceable. It's nothing that I cannot move. I cannot walk from Dubai to Riyadh. No, it's really hard to do that. It's easy and easier to hire. That's it.
Also, again, I mean, with the same argument, right? It's a matter of
Abdullah,
scale.
ما شاء الله شكلك you're cash يعني you need budget to hire.
No, companies have already been doing that for a long time. I'm not bringing
Now
something
they're
new.
firing.
AI is new.
Now they're firing people because of that.
The thing is,
they are
again,
firing people.
if it was only hype in the sense that, okay, yes, absolutely, you can replace people the same way you can replace it just walking by going on a car or flying or whatever, or any multiple different scenarios. People are choosing to use AI because they see the value in the fact that it can be transformational for their businesses. Otherwise, if it was as simple as, oh yeah, whatever, I can just hire a person, then people would be doing that instead of firing a ton of people.
Yeah, you can choose, but you're not. You don't need to. You don't have to. You can choose. That's it. You can choose.
But that goes back. I guess I see what you're saying. You're saying that right now people have that choice, and if it was transformational, then they wouldn't have that choice.
Yeah.
I would argue that to some degree, again, now these companies who have just started, again, just in 2025, just started to fire 70% of their engineering cohorts because 70% of their code is written by AI. Now they don't need those engineers anymore. Those companies likely won't go back. And the thing is, you can say that, they will go back or they could go back. Now you're also trying to predict what's going to happen in 5-6 years. I don't think that's a fair thing for either of us to say. But the reality is that it's still early stages for AI to be implemented at an industrial level. And what we're seeing is a shift towards that based on the number of the efficiency that it's bringing to the game, the way that the companies are starting to react to it, and the fact that, again, with the state of AI, they're talking about somewhere over 90% of companies are now starting to experiment with AI at an industrial level. So maybe to some of these companies, yes, it's replaceable right now, to your argument, but I think very soon, in the next year or so, we're going to start to see a shift away from that, because, again, like I said, it's able to automate a lot of these jobs. Like, a lot of people here are replacing people or replacing systems in which previously there was no AI and now there is AI.
I'm gonna say whatever what the Sahar team says. it's not transformational yet.
By the way, you're in Sahel's
That's
team.
it.
You are in our team, huh?
I'm in Sahel's team. I'm saying what
Yes.
Sahel's team is saying all of the debate.
Yes, yes,
It's not
yes.
transformational yet.
Yes.
End of
And
story.
the use of it
Thank you.
has
Okay.
made it not transformational yet.
Okay.
And عندي حق الرد على فهيم يعني. So I know that we are not living in a magical word, but what I was saying regarding NGOs on the OpenAI is that the profit part of AI has made it a hype, and this was done on purpose. So they wanted to be a hype, so that because Google was doing the research, but they were not having this kind of funding. But when it has became a hype, there was investment into it, and it lost its transformational pattern or characteristic, let's say. And that's all from me. Thank you, guys.
Okay, let's take questions. Abdullah?
Last thing, I'm so sorry. I swear, guys, I'm not done. I'll
Go
stay quiet for a
ahead.
bit. But also, you guys need to keep in mind, billions of dollars went into getting AI to the point we are right now. You know, some of these companies, like, yeah, maybe whatever, they have some marketing tools around it. To some degree, they sort of earned it because, you know, we would not have this transformational technology without that early investment, which again came with nothing back in the day. They've been working on this for decades, you know, and literally billions went into it. And even till now, a couple $100 million goes into just training some of these LLMs. You know, forgetting about just how a lot of us use AI, the way that they had to invest into it to get it to a point in which it can start adding value is a crazy investment. And to some degree, you know, when you put that investment into light of the value that's yet to come, I think there's, you know,
you need to have a hype.
I actually
So
kind of
it is a
starting to
hype
agree
right
with
now.
Huzaifa. No. What I'm saying is that with that amount of money going in, it can't possibly be a hype. Because Adma, you're saying, oh yeah, you know, these guys are trying to inflate the value of the market and they're trying to use these devices and spend a lot of money on it. Honestly, like compared to the amount of investment that has gone into it, it's peanuts. It's nothing yet. Okay, now I'm done. Please, guys.
Yeah, Abdullah, go ahead. Oh, both Abdullah, sorry. Abdullah Al-Umar? Or Al-Amr? I think
Yeah, so I was just kind of like gonna answer a question that Mariam just kind of did put in the chat. Like, and I think it's really a nice way to just kind of really, I guess, summarize like where we're kind of like talking about. Uh, Essentially, you can agree that AI is transformational and it's overhyped at the same time. So it's like what we're seeing right now, like with AI companies, is that like what specific real value that I'm seeing being on like Sahad's team. Like I think we can reach information like a lot faster. You have a lot more control over your time, and like those things are really great. And I'm pro AI in that regard. But to say and have this notion of AI is overhyped is also true. Like if you Google like, you know, Sam Altman like interviews, he talks about like we need to figure out what humans need to do after like we achieve AGI because they're just we're like really progressing like really fast. And that is like really further from the truth. If this doesn't say hype, I don't know what does. Like we're very far away from just kind of curing all diseases, automating all jobs, and just having this time for us to just kind of do whatever. And that's like what I mean when I say AI is like super hype. Just because I can write like a better syntax does not make me kind of live in this like world where like there's no problems like more to solve. And even this notion, like another example that I can point out, like of just AI being overhyped, and I think it was mentioned in this debate, which is like 70% of all code now is written by AI. Like, what if I told you that 70% of all emails are auto-corrected by Grammarly? Like, are we not gonna write like emails anymore because like, you know, Grammarly just kind of like auto-complete like whatever you're trying to kind of like write? Again, it's a great technology. It's here to stay, but even the evidence of just being overhyped, you can hear it in this debate that this will make everyone loses their job very soon. We're just gonna live in this utopia of just nobody is gonna do anything except just kind of think about like, I don't know what hobbies you have or whatever. And that is very, very far from the truth. I would love it to be kind of like the future that we live in. But again, just because I write better syntax and I don't like, and I forget to write a bracket in AI, it just says like, you forgot this here and that there. And that does not make it the technology that everybody promises that they're going to deliver to you. Even though, again, I'm pro AI, this is definitely, I can reach information a lot faster than Googling it. But yeah, that's just kind of like my take, like regarding Mariam's question. I think is very well put question.
Thank you, Abdullah. Hudayfa?
Yeah, I think we're still conflating personal use case with industry use case.
Yes.
So I think I'll give you one small example is that Visa, the largest fintech company, prevented around $105 million of loss because of their new AI protection suite. Now, if $105 million isn't enough value created using AI just by one single company in one single sector, then I don't know what value is, because again, personal use case is different from industry use case. And literally a leading fintech company was able to use AI and prevent a loss of $105 million. And that's just one example that we have. I'm sure there are hundreds of others, example in insurance, claim processing, and so many more, customer support, as everyone else is mentioning. So yeah, we're conflating personal use case with industry use case. And we literally have very strong examples of industry use cases and saving real money, or either saving real money or actually generating real money. So yeah, that would be my argument.
Okay, Bhuvan?
No, I just wrote down a few points. I just want to sort of state it out. I think the first thing is how everyone is defining transformational, right? Like if I look at transformation technology, for example, the steam engine, right? The steam engine was transformational because it pretty much changed how humans used to use muscle power, and it basically transformed to machine power, right? In terms of AI, exactly what Abdullah was saying, the AI will help you write an email faster, but that's just a process optimization, right? At the end of the day, AI, we really need to understand how also AI operates, which everyone knows that AI does not know how to create. It is merely predicting the data based on different patterns, right? We all are very, very familiar about hallucination, right? A, a truly, truly, truly transformational tech should be reliable. If a mere bridge would be also sort of, kept at par at the level of the probability of truth of a LLM, it would be called a hazard, not a transformational piece of technology, right? And there have been several examples of the same thing. So the bottom line is that AI is great, but is it really transformational yet? And again, the debate is not about what's going to happen in 20 years or 10 years or even 5 years. It's about what we have right now. I think when we achieve AGI, which has been talked about again and again and again, and we're still far off from that, then I guess we'll talk about, yeah, we are transformational.
But Bhuvan, one question here, based on that logic.
Before jumping, I need Fahim to cross Bhuvan because this is so funny.
I'm sorry, it's not fair. It's not fair to say that because he didn't choose the side he was on.
I just flipped a coin.
Yeah. But I thought it was funny.
Okay, Hudayfa, go.
Yeah, Bhuvan, just so I understand what you said is that AI isn't transformational is because it's just optimizing something that's already in place, or optimizing a small process versus, let's say, a combustion engine, which let's say, I don't know, allowed you to do things that were never possible. But based on that logic, can I not say all the combustion engine did is just optimize my process of traveling? Like I used to walk, now I use a car. No?
It literally changed the medium, right? It changed the medium. It literally changed the muscle power to a machine power. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
But that's exactly what we're saying is that if you spend 10 hours on Excel using my hands and my keyboards and processing something, and I can just give it to an AI tool who can do it in seconds, that's the same thing then. It's optimization of an existing legacy process.
But I'm not just talking about time. Yeah, you can say that for pretty much everything, right? Then is everything transformational?
No, but
And that's
based
exactly why I
on
spoke about the definition as well. That is not just about changing, it's also about changing the medium, right? Like I think when even PC came into the existence and you're like, oh, it's going to change the existence. But I mean, offices still do exist. It changed the medium of how we work and operate, but it didn't kill anything as such.
yeah,
Would
but
you even,
before
people used to call Excel transformational,
yeah,
right?
but my
That's,
medium before was Excel. Now it's the AI tool. It's changing the medium, isn't it?
I mean, probably now it's Google Sheet at best.
Yeah,
You're
but
still
that
using AI.
Guys, fun fact, the director of the US Patent Office in 1899, he said we need to, he sent a message to the US president. He said we need to close the US patent because there are nothing else to invent. So people usually very subjective about transformational, and that's what they call it, resisting. The people are resisting new innovative technology or tools or anything that could ease the life with the people. But let's not deny that the change is actually happening. Let's take Fernando statement or question.
I just want to kind of go back to like where I started, right, around productivity and like GDP increase, right? Because if you listen to most of the arguments from the green team, everything's around kind of heuristics or like personal experiences. Oh, I've got a friend, he used to have 5 people, now he has one guy. This other company saved $100 billion here, 70% of the code is all written by AI. I mean, we're talking about really, really big statements, right? We're talking about reducing your workforce by, orders of magnitude. You cutting 75% of your workforce in a way, right? The most extreme is like a one-person company, right? So, I mean, if it's so transformational and all these big players and the biggest companies in the world are saving $100 billion here and there, why is this not showing up in GDP? Why is it not showing up?
Again, it's very subjective.
You can see it in the bottom line, not the top line.
Okay, final points. I want to highlight 2 that we've never heard from. So, dum 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 dum, ta-da! And dum 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 dum. You're laughing, so you know. Ta-da!
Yes.
Oh, Yahya.
Yalla, let's hear
We
from you guys.
survived. We survived till the last. I thought we did it.
Hello.
أهلا.
Yalla, start with Munira.
Actually,
Yes.
the green team kind of convinced me.
So
It's already in
Yeah, just
Let's
Discord. You can
no,
go.
no, 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 no,
Oh
no.
no,
background.
traitor.
لا لا لا. So, can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I believe so I think no, I think AI is too overhyped, and I have a real life example. In our first round, we did not include AI in the presentation, and we got a very low valuation. In the next round, we just added AI, and we got a very good valuation. And we honestly did not use it. We tried using it, it did not help us, and we went to the traditional ways, and it is completely overhyped.
We won't tell your investors, Manira.
And we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Whenever we say that we are an AI company, we get the hype we need, but initially it's just us, and it's not it. And I think the main reason or the reality is for us specifically in our case, the problem with AI in our case is that we work with trends. So AI kind of remix the past information, give it to you, whatever people agrees on, but it does not give you the truth or the future or like what information you need. It is transformation and all good and but definitely it's over hyped.
Thank God, like you could vote on your own. No
Yeah,
one's
no,
gonna
I
force.
would
Okay, Yahya, go
I
ahead.
would totally disagree. I believe most of us are looking at AI at the organizational and economic and country level, but what we should really look at is at the individual level. Are our capabilities different today than what it used to be 3 years ago? For me, I believe like AI have made me more of a superhuman instead of like a normal human. What I'm capable of doing today is way more advanced than what I was able to do even a year ago. The knowledge and the capabilities and the access is different. And that's what makes AI transformational is in the output that an individual can produce. Like even 3 years ago, many stuff that you see today that an individual can do with AI, you would have thought that this would need an expert in his field with a team working with him and a lot of resources. However, today, just an individual with ChatGPT can create some stuff that would have required an expert in his field and a team working for him. That's why I see like AI is definitely transformational. And also, I believe the red team don't contradict that it's transformational. They just try to say it's hype, but they are not opposite. Like hype is about expectation, and it's only about timeline. Every technology, internet, smartphones, every other transformational technology at one point of time, they were called overhyped because people were overthinking what it can do today. But over the long term, it become transformational and its value have happened. And you will always find someone who would overhype anything, even like a good restaurant. You would see someone saying this is the best restaurant in the world. It doesn't deny that they make good food, but like overstating would be an overhype, but it doesn't contradict the fundamentals that this restaurant makes a good food. So same applies for AI. It's transformational. Some people will overstate what it can do, but I believe we all agree that it really changed the way we operate and way we run our companies.
Thank you so much, Yahya and Munira. And please, let's hear your voice before putting you in the spotlight. Thank you so much. Okay.
You're welcome.
We're gonna do a very interesting launch. So if you're on your phone, you could scroll to see the poll questions. If you're on computer, it's gonna show on your screen. Let's hear from you. No one is gonna force you on any topic to choose.
Can we see the result?
Well, I'm gonna show you the result, but I'm waiting for 3 more to participate. I think it's our team member.
I think
Guys,
guys,
you can
this
participate.
is like a trap. Huh? It's like a trap. Everyone will sign.
Okay. You want to see the result? Dum dum dum.
Oh wow. Well, there you go.
Oh way.
I told
Hey,
you we're the
everyone.
winning team.
Yes.
We're short. We're
I think
short. Iftkhar left the call.
What do you mean short? He recruited people right at the spot. What do you mean short?
Well, how many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8.
Actually, I think that we have done a good job because
Yeah.
most of us are building startups in AI. I left my previous job to launch an AI company, so it was
You're
a very
convincing
difficult
yourself.
exercise for us. So I think that we have done a good job.
Yeah,
Congratulations, my team.
yeah, and you are at a disadvantage, like being in a position to say AI is not transformative is very hard job to
And
do.
Sahel did not
They have
help
left their
also.
beliefs.
And to be honest, I would like to spotlight a question for you guys. Who do you think is the master debater today? Who you think deserve that title?
Iftikhar after his opening.
Iftikhar, he copied the opening from ChatGPT.
No, it's not the
It's clearly that he was reading.
It's not the content.
That's
It's not
how
the
he
content.
presented
it. It's not the content, it's the delivery, I think.
I
most
think Huzaifa did a great job, actually.
Huzaifa was definitely
Also
amazing.
Fahim, yeah.
Joseph was good.
For me,
Fahim
did a
was
great
the
job.
master researcher. He went up and checked the specs of the washing
Fahim and
machine.
Hassan were the best يعني صراحة.
Good job, everyone. So I think we have 4 votes for Fahim. So congratulations, Fahim. You're gonna get the
Amazing.
title in Discord for the master debater. And thank you for the openings. Guys, Najib, you did a really
Thank you,
good
guys.
job.
Thank you.
Iftikhar,
Thank you for the
please pass the
trust.
message. Yeah, Iftikhar did a really good job. Despite that, he read it from ChatGPT. But the A for effort, you know. And thank you so much. It was a really fun debate session. And I think,
Thank you.
AI is actually a very subjective topic. That's why we chose it. And interesting fact, we chose it even for investors. If it's overhyped or actually it's a great tool to invest in. And you're going to be surprised with the result. But thank you so much for participating. It was lovely seeing you all. And let's catch up for the next session.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you, guys.
Thank
you.
you.
Good
Thank you
effort.
so much.
Guys,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
see you ahead of
Bye.
you.
Take
Thank you,
care.
guys. Bye.
Bye.